Do you like catching movies in the theaters? Check out MoviePass, where you can see a movie every single day for as low as $30 a month. And IAYTD has the hookup, where you can click the link in the description box below to try MoviePass for 2 weeks before committing to it. Only available in the United States currently, but check out the website for a full list of participating movie theaters near you.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger initiative.
Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic. Today we are covering what is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is really meant as people that maybe you don't know what that means, you don't really know what that constitutes. So let's dive into what is the MCU.
In 2008, the movie Iron Man hit theaters and surprised everyone. It's hard to believe it now, but Iron Man wasn't really that well known prior to these movies. And Robert Downey Jr. also wasn't the movie star that he is today. So it's surprising that this movie turned out to be incredible. The biggest moment of this movie, though, was after the credits, when Samuel L. Jackson appeared and mentioned the Avengers initiative. This blew our collective minds. When I was younger, I was shocked when we'd get a Spider-Man or an X-Men movie. I couldn't imagine a future where we'd get something like the Avengers. Just a few months after Iron Man released, along came the Incredible Hulk. This was met with a lukewarm reception, but it was a shock when Robert Downey Jr. appeared as a cameo. Are these movies connected? Is this really happening? See, prior to this, we had gotten sequels and reboots. Every once in a while, we'd get a spin-off. But this is the first time that we heard the term cinematic universe, which has now become a bit of a cliche. What it really means is that all of these movies are connected. What happens in one exists in the others. Iron Man exists in all of these movies. The Hulk may appear or be referenced, you never know. Marvel was the first to really do this well, creating solo movies for Captain America and Thor as well, culminating in the Avengers. The Avengers ended what is referred to as Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, often called the MCU by fans. Phase 2 included a lot of sequels, as well as introducing Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man. During Phase 2, we also saw the creation of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, two ABC television shows that existed within the MCU. We saw characters like Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury and Jamie Alexander's Sif from the Thor movies show up. While the show had very little bearing on the movies ultimately would change the direction of the shows, such as the events of Captain America the Winter Soldier drastically changing the course of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Also towards the end of Phase 2, we got an announcement that Marvel was creating shows exclusively for Netflix based on street-level characters like Daredevil and Luke Cage. Daredevil was released in 2015 and completely surprised everyone with how spectacular it was. The show took place in New York in the wake of the destruction caused by the events of the first Avengers. Now looking forward, Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is about to begin, with 2 to 3 movies a year, 2 Netflix seasons a year, and potentially spin-offs and new shows on ABC. This will all culminate in the 2-part Avengers: The Infinity War arriving in 2018 and 2019. So you have movies, television shows on ABC, and more mature shows on Netflix. These all exist in the same world and can overlap in fun and interesting ways. We might someday see Daredevil join the Avengers on the big screen, for example. As of this video's creation, this franchise is the highest grossing franchise worldwide. That may change with the Star Wars Cinematic Universe about to begin. Speaking of that, we're now seeing all sorts of other cinematic universes. They're discussing a Ghostbusters cinematic universe, a Transformers cinematic universe, even the Fast and the Furious is discussing spin-off movies that all exist in the same universe. Some make sense, like Star Wars. There are interesting corners of that universe we'd like to explore, but the Fast and the Furious, not so sure. Now it might be easy to think that when I say Marvel movies and all of this, that it really means all Marvel movies. That sadly isn't the case. This connected universe only applies to movies created by Marvel Studios. Back in the early 2000s, Marvel sold off the rights to Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and some other properties like Daredevil and Punisher. While these smaller properties have come back to Marvel, the big three still belong to the other studios. Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, but has agreed to let him appear in Marvel Studios films, and that some MCU characters may appear in his solo movies. X-Men and Fantastic Four are both owned by Fox Studios. Fantastic Four is the most likely choice to eventually come back to Marvel, since their recent reboot didn't do very well. But the X-Men franchise is still commercially successful, even if the movies aren't always well received. So this means that we'll never see the X-Men and the Avengers cross paths. At least not until Fox has a financial reason to let Marvel use them again.
And that's basically it. So we've got movies, TV shows, all of that, and it's all connected, which is really innovative. So as always, let me know in the comments what you want to see in future editions of What Is, and make sure you check out our Facebook page right here. And I think that's it. So thanks for watching.
There's one other name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
Who?